doing great. This is a part 2 video to the chemistry of removing paint from the patio deck. I did prepare a video, let's say call it part 1, and I discussed about 2 different formulations. That one of them was dichloromethane based, the other one was cocktail of DMSO and THF. And the conclusion of the first video was that the dichloromethane formulation seems to be more effective cocktail to dissolve or loosen the water-based paint from the patio deck. I had one of the viewer that wrote an excellent comment. He actually wrote the formulation to make a effective paint remover, which I took his advice and I prepared this cocktail with some deviation. So this mixture contains 70% dichloromethane, so the effective solvent is the dichloromethane. It has 10%, 5% methanol, 5% acetone. It has 15% acetic acid, glacial acetic acid. It has 2% weight per volume SLS, is a surfactant, and it has 2% weight per volume HPMC, which is a gelling agent. Well, I didn't make this product to sell it in the market. It seems like the HPMC, I overdid it. Probably it needs to be, maybe the amount should be reduced to maybe 0.5% weight per weight. It is just a thickening agent, and probably HPMC is not a good choice for this formulation anyway. So what I'm going to do with this part 2 is look at our friend's formulation. Actually, he gracefully refused to accept it as his formulation, but let's call it his formulation and see how effective this one is. And also I have the pure THF and pure dichloromethane to see the effect of these two pure solvent versus this mixture. And also my project, the patio deck, has different type of surfaces. Some of them have multiple layers of paint, some of them has one layer of paint. Some of the woods are more newer versus the other ones. So I have a variety of different surfaces and different challenges for these chemicals. So I'm going to go on and try these on different sections of my patio deck. So on this section of patio deck, I have a wood, and I don't know what I got on there, but I believe this section of the patio deck has probably more than one layer, because when I scratch it, I can see that under there is another paint which is I think it's like called chocolate color, and the surface on the top is like a milky color. So let me try to use our mixture on one section of this area, and because it has a thickening agent, it's not going to evaporate very rapidly, and it's going to stay on the surface. And let it sit for a while to see how it is behaving. I'm going to add a little bit of dichloromethane right beside it. So this is dichloromethane right beside, and because it doesn't have any additives, it will evaporate. Probably it's more effective, but it will evaporate faster. And based on my knowledge from the last video, I know that it is going to evaporate very quickly, so I'm going to use the scraper right immediately. So this is removing the top layer. It did remove some of the lower layer, and now the green paint is showing up. And this part, very effective, very nice. Removing the top layer, exposing the lower layer. It is as effective of pure dichloromethane but the difference is that this is not going to evaporate and it's going to sit on the surface and do its work, whereas the dichloromethane section is has evaporated already, so I have to add more solvent, whereas this one I can see that because of the good formulation it's still sitting on the surface. Okay, to my right I'm going to add a little bit pure THF, see how THF is doing versus dichloromethane and the other formulation. That's a THF. I'm gonna let it sit a little bit, not too long. Weather is not that hot, so it's not going to evaporate very fast. And this is doing something. Maybe not bad, but it seems like dichloromethane is more effective. I'm going to move on to the other area of my patio deck that it has different surfaces and it doesn't have multiple layers. So in this section the wood is in very poor condition and I only have one layer of the paint, and see how this is doing, how effective this cocktail is against this section. Okay. I'm not going to put the other pure solvents because their efficacy or effectiveness would be as similar to this cocktail. The only difference is that the cocktail has all these other additives that prevents the THF or dichloromethane to evaporate rapidly. And we can see this section, the paint are all removed or just bubbled. They're bubbly, a little bit different. Okay, there is another layer of the orange color now showing up, but this section is completely removed. And your patio deck or anyone's patio deck is not similar to anyone else's, and any person's project is not 100% similar to someone else's. So we have different situations, the age of the wood, the type of the paint on the surface, and so on will make a difference. So I don't think that there is one formulation in the market that it is going to work for everybody. And some people may say that the product was great, it was able to remove the paint very rapidly with no issues, and some other people were saying that the product didn't work at all. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Just a recap, I have looked at the effectiveness of the THF on removing paint or loosening the paint. Dichloromethane appears to be the most effective solvent so far that I looked at to remove these water-based paint, and the cocktail that our friends suggested is a very effective mixture. Overall, my take is that the chemical by itself is not going to remove the paint entirely, and if you use a chemical, probably at the end you need to use a sander, 30 grades or 60 or 50 grade, whatever it is. If you don't have chemicals and the sander, if you don't use chemicals, the sander will not gonna do, and then you need something more aggressive, something like this, or product similar to this one. And this is very hard to work with, and but it is very effective. You don't care how many layers or what kind of wood you have, it's going to remove everything. But be careful, as I said in my previous video, this is dangerous when you are working with it. If you hit a nail, you're gonna jump from left to right, and I happened to cut myself. I got 4 stitches by working with this product. Safety glasses is a must. Bits and pieces of the wood and the plastic will fly all over. Maybe you're gonna hit to your go to your eyes. glove is a must. I managed to hit my hand. I didn't want to do, but hit, and it ripped the glove off, and I had a very small scratches on my finger, nothing important, but you have to be very careful, and you need to have a very full two hands grip, and it is you're gonna tire you very quickly. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and have a great time. Bye bye.